Welcome to the Dream Journal. From the studios of KSQD in Santa Cruz, the Dream Journal is a weekly show where we explore the power of nighttime dreams through conversations with dream experts and with listeners like you. Okay. Music for today is called O Light 100. And a dream can be meaningful even if you don't know what it means. I am your host, Catherine Bell of Experiential Dreamwork, and welcome to the Dream Journal. I'm just going to share a small fragment of a dream that I had, and it is a dream in which my son appeared, and the remarkable thing about this dream is that he was his current age, which I find is very unusual. Usually he's younger. Usually he's like an early teen or 8, 9, 10. And so I think there's something that I'm like recognizing that he is his own person, like withdrawing some of those projections, you might say. And it's just lovely to acknowledge it. Even he was in a room and I knocked on the door and asked, can I come in? There was like a lovely sense of boundaries. And so I don't know, it just makes me kind of proud of my son to start to see him in my dreams as he really is. So, well, let me introduce my guest. We have today the delightful presence of Susan Schwartz. She is a PhD trained in Zurich, Switzerland as a Jungian analyst. Her books are on fathers, imposter syndrome, and the Puella archetype, and they're all published by Routledge. Her latest book is called An Analytical Exploration of Love and Narcissism, and you can find her at susanschwartzphd.com. Let me say hello to Susan. Okay. Is it still an echo? Yeah, it's an echo. Okay, we're going to shut the Zoom down. We're just going to use audio. So listeners, in case you wonder what's going on, I'm trying to get more video involved in the podcast, and I have yet to figure out a way to do that. So if anybody has some ideas about connecting over Zoom while the audio is used somewhere else, let me know. But for the moment, we're going to go back to what's really important, which is talking about dreams. Okay, so welcome, Susan Schwartz. I'm so glad to have you on the show.
I'm pleased to be here. Let me also say,
yes,
because we are talking about dreams, who knows, a dream might happen, which will give the answer.
Ah, that's wonderful. I will keep an eye out for the dreams.
Yeah. You could also ask a question. How would it work?
Who needs Chat GPT? We can ask our dreams. I love that.
Oh, well, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
You can, but you can ask your own dream besides the Chat GPT.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I still have yet to join the AI revolution.
Yeah.
Good. I love that very dream-centric suggestion, Susan. Thank you. And you are indeed a Jungian analyst, which gives you a very dream-centric and image-centric focus, which I appreciate so much. This is your third appearance on the show with another fabulous book, and this one is about analytic exploration of love and narcissism. And narcissism is kind of a buzzword these days. This is something that is for the last couple of years has been really bandied about, used recklessly. How do you define narcissism? Like, who is a narcissist, and how do we recognize one?
Well, let me add a couple of things.
Yes.
First of all, your comments are well taken. Most people don't understand the intricacy of a narcissist. So we can see how that will also come through dreams. Mm-hmm. But I also have another book, which is on fathers and sons, mm-hmm. and that comes out in May of 2026. Mm-hmm. And in that, I also address narcissism, because what narcissism really is an isolated personality type who actually has outer bravado and inner fragility. And most people do not see that. So they usually are quite insular, mm-hmm. solitary, and this is why it's hard to have a relationship with them.
I would say
So,
that inner
yeah.
fragility is something that I don't associate with narcissism. Why don't you say a little bit more about that?
Well, most people don't. That I think is why people bandy, as you said,
Yeah.
the term around because they don't know what to do. So the narcissist creates kind of you almost might say like a circle around them,
Mm.
and you can't get in. The problem is you can't get close, but they can't get out.
Mm.
So it's a trap on both sides. And you could see it, for instance, in dreams where people are trapped or in a prison
Mm.
or in solitary confinement or fighting a pointless battle alone.
Mm.
And, for instance, being destroyed in the process. It really is. This is why it's difficult to deal with them because of the fragility. They can't get in, they can't get out, and they
Mm.
don't feel as strong as they put out. But let me make a small caveat.
Yeah.
We are talking about a situation of not the extreme, like in a personality disorder. We're talking about kind of the narcissist that we all encounter, and we all have a bit of it, if you think about it.
Everyday narcissism.
Yeah, we all have a little bit because I mean, in a way, I mean, this is an extension, but in a way, when you look in the mirror, how are you looking in the mirror?
Mm.
Are you looking like Narcissus did in the myth, where he ignored everybody else in the entire world?
Yeah.
Didn't hear them, didn't see them. Um, well, he heard them, he didn't see them, and he never looked. And this is the other strange thing about the myth, which is true of Narcissus. Narcissus looked in the pond and did not know he saw himself.
Ah.
So
Oh,
yeah.
interesting. Okay. So
Yeah,
the
yeah.
myth. Let's recap the myth. So that's the narcissist was looking to a pond, and he fell in love with the image he saw. Right. And he did not. You're saying he
Well,
did not know it was himself, right?
exactly. And that's what it says in the myth. And it's also connected. And here's the partnership aspect, whether it is outer partner or opposite sex, it doesn't matter, or inner partner. He does not know, again, who he sees. And in the myth, Echo is the one who wants him. And as she desires him, she gets thinner and thinner, loses her body to the point where all she
Hmm.
is a void. So there's it's a destruction to that part of oneself, outer and inner.
Hmm.
And again, we can say that that's not bounded by gender, but anything different from narcissist and different from the narcissist is threatening to them. So if they only want same, that's why they're so bombastic. Put people, distant. Everything has to be to their way of being.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't let anything else in. So that's why the dreams be quite interesting because dreams always bring in other.
Right. Okay. So this is I'm actually never really thought about the other character of Echo in the myth,
Mm-hmm.
who is
Mm-hmm.
Narcissus is so obsessed with his own image that he can see nobody else, and Echo loves Narcissus, and she can't see anybody but Narcissus.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then she
And
becomes,
why?
yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, well, I was just kind of in my mind, kind of going, I'm trying to understand the myth a little bit. And so she actually fades away. She's as obsessed as he is, if not more so. She totally loses her body and becomes like an echo, which an echo is just a reflection of something that already exists. So it doesn't have its own existence either. I mean, in some ways, well,
Yeah. Okay.
am I
So
getting
then
that?
there's also, yeah, no, you're right.
Okay.
But then there's also, like dreams, there are many layers to what we have just said.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that outer layer in a way. Then if we peel it apart, then we see that echo, in fact, uses different tonality. If she uses some of the words that narcissist uses, so she can only repeat, but it's her tone, her emphasis, her way, and her repetition. She is undaunted.
Mm.
If you think about it, she's going after this guy over and over and over.
Right.
But there's a persistence in it, which is I want, I desire, I need, and I'm going to try for it. And that is often left off as is echo herself, mainly because it's focused mostly on the male narcissist, relating also to our male-oriented still patriarchal cultures, which have diminished the influence of the feminine. So that's one slice of the story.
Right. So, but she's as obsessed as he is, or even more so in
Yeah.
some ways.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yes, she is. It says, well, this is what happens when you deal with a couple, one that's more narcissistically oriented than the other. You get one is like after the other, after them, after them. If I just understood, if I could figure you out, and that isn't the issue. The issue is find your own self.
And
Right?
neither of those people are interested in finding themselves.
No, they're not.
Right.
It is, see, and so when people say that person is a narcissist, you could say, well, wait a second. What have you projected onto them? And are you, in fact, by focusing on that person, avoiding yourself? So if we take it back to dreams, dreams will not let us avoid ourselves.
Right. Okay.
They just won't. Well, they're about us and about big images as well. I just want to make a comment about your dream.
Yeah, please.
Which you shared,
Yes.
which was great.
Yeah.
So we could say, well, your son, but he's a part of you.
True.
So whatever he represents, you're happy that he's got his own self. He's separate, but you're pleased about it. Good boundaries from quite early because he's young.
Yes.
In the dream. And so there's something that's been going on that's very healthy in that dream, but also in you.
Susan, thank you. That's a big aha for me, because there have been like a lot of breakthroughs for me lately. I feel like there's just kind of doors opening in my mind, and there's been a lot of realizations that I've been having lately that has been super helpful. And so maybe there's something, since he's a male in the dream, this young man, that this kind of is maturing in me, and I'm able to give myself some space about the ways that I'm effective in the world, the way, kind of the yang, the masculine, the way that I'm effective in the world.
Yeah, I think so. And I also think that with dreams, because they're from ourselves, but they're also beyond ourselves. They give us information that we don't know, or we already know, or we're going to integrate differently. If somebody who is narcissistic can get involved with themselves in a way that has energy for self and other, get involved in allowing and looking at different parts of their personality. Dreams help facilitate that, and they make it less threatening. So it's easier to get in touch, with whatever is going on underneath by through the use of the dream, because they're natural. you can't argue
Mm.
and say, look at that's not me. Well, it's your dream, so of course it's
Of course it's me.
right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
It's,
So I think it's an easy way to get into, not easy, but it's an easy way to get into also people who are scared. So
mm,
that's the narcissist. They're scared,
hmm,
and that's why they grandstand and take on facade and try to distance because it's hard for them to be seen up close.
right. Oh, interesting. So this reminds me of things. What I've heard is that pride is often a cover for shame, and that when we have a lot excessive pride, like a lot of pride, it
Mm.
covers up feelings of inadequacy or shame. Because I think if you asked most narcissists, they wouldn't say they're scared. They wouldn't dare admit that they were scared.
But if you get to know them, if you
Uh,
can break, yeah, if you can get through a bit, then in fact, they will admit to shame uh, that really is there. And they're trying very hard to make sure nobody gets close enough to see the inadequacies or the flaws that they believe are there.
mm,
That's why they push people away because they think something wrong. And or maybe as children, they had to be performative.
mm-hmm,
They had to be the darling of the parents,
mm,
fulfill the parents' life, and couldn't have their own dreams.
mm. Literally,
Yeah.
they're waking life dreams.
Yeah, that's exactly right. The other, yeah, yeah.
Right.
The other is that in the myth of Narcissus, and I think this applies also, the mother was a nymph, but the father was a river god.
Hmm.
And he, as a river, raped her, and that was the beginning of Narcissus.
Mm,
So it's a very unconnected, if you call them parents, connected parent story. And then how does one learn to grow up if nobody's advising you? So this
mm,
is often what has happened to narcissists. They just had to.
mm.
They just had to go. And they did. And that's all they learned. They didn't learn to say, I need some help here.
Mm, right, right. And so, like, what? How do they even begin to ask for help? I guess, um, you
Well,
know,
if they can, it's hard,
uh,
but if they can get into therapy, so not, the extreme of any a diagnosis or any idea of someone, it's probably not going to be so open. It's too rigid,
mm-hmm,
but kind of moderate, more moderate, definitely. And they can find out through the relationship that it's possible to be self and other in the
mm,
presence of someone. So that allows them also to access different parts of themselves, and they will find in their dreams different parts of themselves.
okay.
Yeah, yeah. So
Mhm,
they'll have different characters in their dreams besides themselves. So sometimes they'll be only alone, but sometimes there will be other parts of themselves hanging around, and they will be, oh, there's more than just my ego. I have other parts to me. I don't have to pretend to be perfect or have all the answers or always be on or always be afraid. See, that's what's under it.
mm.
It's fear. Yeah.
Susan, this is fascinating. And we were talking about the idea of everyday narcissism, and that there's a way that the evolution for me has been similar, and maybe for many of the people that I work with as well, is that often the characters in our dreams, they're coming to offer help or love or intimacy, and then we turn away or we think we're going to be harmed, or and then
Mhm.
there's ways that it's scary to be intimate, even
Yeah.
for the most healthy psyche, I think. But then the dreams are often laying out a path for us to get closer and closer to being open to intimacy, being open to allowing ourselves to be loved.
Yeah. And I would say, yeah, that said it perfectly, you did. But then the dreams help open us to what we have been afraid of, but also to aspects of our personality that we might have assumed are damaged or not all
Yeah.
right.
Mm-hmm.
And we find out that, in fact, no, there are strengths that we have that maybe we haven't accessed, that we find that we can, in fact, do it. Like Narcissus, if he had just turned around and said to Echo, yeah, okay, come closer,
Mm.
things would have completely changed. So that's what happens in the therapeutic endeavor around dream work.
Mm-hmm.
Is it says come closer.
Mm.
It's
No.
like an invitation.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So it's kind of dreaming the dream forward. So it like these dreams of being in prison. Like I've certainly had dreams of being in prison. I think many people have, but there was one particular dream I had where I was in prison, but I saw something going on outside, and I just opened the door and walked out.
Oh, absolutely.
And
It's like that image of the bird in the cage, and the door behind the bird is open.
oh,
Exactly like your dream. All the bird needs to do is turn around and fly out. And actually, psychologically, that's what the dream presents us with. Other options, like turn around
mm,
and open yourself to see what it would be like to walk out of your cage. And we don't know the unknown, so most people are afraid to walk out of that cage. But that's really what has to happen.
mm,
And the dream shows us, just like in your dream, the dream shows us what has trapped us in the cage. I mean, what are the walls of
mm,
that cage? And what complex are we caught in? How
mm,
can we get out?
mm-hmm.
The,
A
the
lot, a
dream
lot of
gives us, yeah.
assumptions. A lot of times those cages are made of assumptions, in my experience.
They are made of assumptions. The problem is, many times those assumptions are like big, strong walls.
Yes.
And the encouragement is needed of the wall can be taken down bit by bit. It doesn't have to be blasted through right away.
Mm,
It can be taken down. And I think because of the fragility of the narcissist, again, they have a hard time loving
mm-hmm.
because they think that whoever that other person is will somehow smash them or somehow take something away rather than give and add to.
Mm,
And they will be presented with different, and every dream presents us with a different aspect of ourselves.
mm,
Every single one, even when the dreams are repetitive, because you dream it, in 1 year, and maybe 5 years later you have the same symbol, but you're different.
mm-hmm.
So it's not really all the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those for dreams. Dreams do evolve. They do evolve over time.
Yeah.
So this is fabulous. I'm really loving this conversation. And after the break, I want to talk a little bit more about the echo side of the equation. Like, what is it to be in relationship with that narcissist, and how can we help? How can we help our
Yeah.
everyday narcissist to change? As you say, it's a slow process, and if there's already a tremendous amount of shame, we have to be sure not to trigger that shame any more than it's already there.
Yeah.
Great. So this is Susan Schwartz, Jungian analyst and author, multiple author, and we're talking about narcissism and what it means. So we are broadcast live from the KSQD studios in Santa Cruz and co-broadcast live in San Jose by KCXU and podcast everywhere. Susan's webpage is susanschwartzphd.com. We'll be right back. You are listening to the Dream Journal, and I am Catherine Bell of Experiential Dreamwork. I'd like to send out a special welcome to our far-flung listeners, which are always from all over the world. People are interested in their dreams. If you want to nudge the algorithm to help spread interest in dreaming, please follow the Dream Journal on your favorite podcast app. And if you're inspired, leave a rating or a review. It really helps spread interest in dreaming. But most importantly, tell your friends. I love to get people talking about dreams, and telling your friends about this podcast is one way you can do that. If you can share a show on social media, that really helps people find the podcast. You can go to Facebook and Instagram to find out about upcoming shows and pod drops by following hashtag The Dream Journal and at Experiential Dreamwork. Last call for presenters to submit their proposal for the IASD conference in June in Ashland, Oregon. The deadline is December 19th. Details can be found at iasdconferences.org/2026. Next week, I'm excited to offer a special Solstice all-caller show. This show will be all about you from the very top of the hour. So please mark December 20th at 10 a.m. Pacific so that you can call in live to share your dream or to ask a question that you've always been wondering about. So hope to see you next week, December 20th, live 10 a.m. for an all-caller show. Today's guest is Susan Schwartz, a PhD Jungian analyst, author of up to 4 or 5 books now, which is just fabulous to be getting some of this information out there. And her latest book is called, there it is, An Analytical Exploration of Love and Narcissism. So, Dr. Schwartz, thanks for being here on the show. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the echo side of the equation. What is it? What is it like? I mean, we talked about the way Echo kind of wasted away, so there was no body even left. She was so obsessed with narcissism. What his name is Narcissist, with Narcissus himself, like the flower, just like the flower.
Right.
Yeah. So, what do we do with the narcissists in our lives who we love and want to stay connected to? How do we take care of ourselves, and how do we help them?
Well, you see, that's the very thing. They have to learn to help themselves.
Mm.
So this is where Echo in the myth, her reaching out to him, which is great, and she shows a lot of courage and again, a lot of resilience and strength. She actually goes against the patriarchal story.
Mm.
Because she was put under a curse. Here's the backstory. It's always quite interesting, the backstory, not just of a myth, but of a dream. So we could say, oh, this means this and this. But wait a second, where did it come from?
Yeah.
How did you learn it? And we could say also, how have we all learned to be like Echo?
Mm. Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, look at culturally, what is the female figure supposed to be? Sometimes maybe not even. I'm making an extreme.
Okay.
But our Western culture, you kind of mentioned this in the break, but the Western culture dreams people who listen to you all over the world. What does their culture say about the female element, her ability to persevere? Is it encouraged? How is her body image? How does it appear in the dreams? So she's spending, we use she kind of metaphorically as a placeholder.
Mm-hmm.
If one is only focused all of their light onto the other, then they're going to lose themselves. And that's really what the loss of the body also signifies, is the loss of oneself. So it does not help to feed a narcissist everything they want. To feed them reality, yes. To have boundaries, yes. But to give them everything they want and always tell them they're marvelous and wonderful, it does not fill the narcissist at all. In fact, it doesn't. It's like they usually feel, no, I'm flawed. And the compliment or the appreciation or the approval soon disappears like into the Grand Canyon, a piece of paper. Boom, gone. Yeah, it doesn't go because there's a hole inside of the narcissist. So the echo figure is constantly focused outside of themselves and trying to fill what they cannot fill. Think how frustrating it is. And the narcissist only feels unfillable even more. Yeah. So it becomes a way of, it's not healthy to feed someone's, you could say, I'm saying this loosely, but their pathology. I'm not saying narcissists are pathological, but whatever the problem is, you don't really feed it. What you do is you bring it into the light of day.
So in fact, you do not echo, because what they're wanting is adulation and admiration. You do not echo. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, ooh.
Well, it doesn't work.
Right.
And in the myth, the myth tells us you lose your body, which means metaphorically you lose your sense of self and your own strength and your own. I mean, echo is heard, but not seen, and that piece of being seen is something that the narcissist always wants, but that also does not give them confidence in their own inner or outer image. It has to grow organically from inside, and you can't really give that to someone if you're the partner of a narcissist. I think it can be learned in a therapeutic and analytic situation as the problems get unpeeled and the strength gets accessed and known, but it doesn't really work in a partnership. What works is not just feeding them cake all the time. It won't work.
Feed them the truth.
Right.
And the truth might be, I'm not going to stay here today. I'm going to go do my own thing.
That's exactly right. Yeah. And the other part about narcissism is that, our culture in the United States is usually labeled narcissistic.
Right.
So given what we have been saying, it really gives us pause to say, wait a second, how do I contribute to this? Where am I also not allowing for difference? Where am I not allowing for my own difference? Where do I fall into some kind of pattern or trap, which makes me like everyone else, but not myself? Yeah. So if you notice also in the myth, Narcissus, who actually isn't so old, kind of usually assumed to be a teenager, the narcissist oftentimes has not developed beyond that. Yeah. And the other piece, of course, that's usually associated with narcissism is social media. So if you use social media just to echo what somebody else either wants or you think they expect, and you're not echoing yourself, it doesn't work. If you're doing it to Photoshop yourself and present only facade, that doesn't work either. It does work, you said it, again, if when it's true to oneself and you put out your truth, then it works. Then it works.
Okay, so echo yourself.
Exactly.
Love that.
Yes, and echo your own truth. And again, if you're off stage with your own truth, dreams are gorgeous. They will slam it to you. They will.
That's a quote. Dreams will slam it to you. Love that.
Yes. They will say, look at this. And you'll get some kind of something which horrifies, which is not terrible. It's just the psyche is saying, I want to get through to you and I want to help you. And you've been ignoring me, so I'm going to up it.
Okay.
That's really, it's to create consciousness. That's what the dream wants. Yeah.
Thank you, Susan. I have a question here in the studio from Steve, who'd like to make a question or a comment. What do you got for us, Steve?
Hi,
Thanks.
Susan. Good morning. So, I'm going to kind of riff off of Catherine's dream here just a little bit, but it's this idea of seeing our own image in dreams. I will often have dreams of myself where sometimes I am represented as I am in my current state. Other times I will dream of myself as being a much younger man than I am. And then the strangest ones for me are the ones where, and I won't really know this right away unless I happen to walk in front of a mirror or, well, actually sometimes I'm actually watching the dream from a third person perspective, but I see myself and it's not me at all. And I'm wondering, sometimes I've thought, well, gosh, was I just channeling in some alternate reality me, or was there some past life thing going on here? But it's very odd when I wake up, I'll have this impression that, I totally felt like that was me, but it didn't look like me at all. Any thoughts on what might be going on there?
Yes, I have a bunch. One is that, when you dream of yourself at a different age, oftentimes it's like if you can recall with yourself, what happened to me at that age? Or what did I miss? What do I need to pick up? What kind of energy can I use at that time for my life now? Or where did I fall into a conflict or a problem that I need to go back to, untangle, and bring the answers forward? I'm kind of intrigued when you look at yourself and you don't see the you that you know.
Not at all. I don't recognize myself at all sometimes. Who is that person? What have you done with me?
Well, what you could say is, you look better, you look worse. Is there some particular part of your body or your face which has changed?
Yeah, usually my hair, I have it again.
It's back.
It's back. I've had all lengths of hair in my life. Oh my God, look, I have hair again. And it's really long, but that's not my face. I'm not repulsed, but it's just weird.
No, well, it's not so weird.
Okay.
Because when you had, we'll use, it's a great example. When you had hair, you could say, okay, what were you doing? Were you happy? Were you not? Were you content? Were you fulfilled? And did you like that look of you then and also now? The other interesting thing about hair is it comes from the head, and so it represents intellect or brain or thought. So maybe it's trying to say something to you about having thought. Not that you don't know, but reminding you perhaps of the thought then, or thoughts, feelings that are there now that maybe you're not paying attention to.
Interesting. Yeah.
I've even had dreams of myself being older and like noticing I'm having trouble going up the stairs or something, or living in an old age home, that kind of thing. And it's like kind of sobering.
And my whole body's covered in hair, so it's like it's
not
not just the head. It's just not on my head anymore. It's on my face. It's on my back. It's just too much information. But yes, okay.
Yeah, but you see, the change in the hair does represent certainly a change in age and a change in life stage, like you were saying, Catherine. Is it a preparation? Is it to bring us into reality?
Yeah.
Is it to give us choice and say, is that what's going to happen? Is there something that I need to be reminded of now to have me remain healthy and strong?
That's a good one. That's
Nice.
good.
That is good.
I think Max wants to chime in here. This is Max in the studio. Susan?
Hello, Susan. Actually, I want to riff off what Steve just said. It's honestly not one-upsmanship, but I frequently dream that I'm an animal of some kind, usually a dog or a wolf or a canid or something. How does that fit into this whole thing?
It fits. It fits. A dog, a wolf, or what?
Mm-hmm.
A wolf or a canid of some kind.
Like a dog-like creature, a dog-like creature.
A dog-like creature.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So dogs are usually associated with instincts, because you walk them and they're always trying to sniff. So the nose is the instinct. And they also are, what do they say? Man's best friend.
That's what they say.
So there's a certain loyalty. There's a certain, in a way, I wonder if the dreams are saying, get into your animal nature. This is natural. So sometimes, I think especially in our world now, so fast-paced, etc., we lose these animal appreciation or the animal nature of us, which is natural. And I wonder what you're doing in the dreams when you're an animal.
Usually running. Running a lot.
Right? Are you really?
Yeah.
Or are you running toward or are you running from?
Usually toward, I think.
But do you know what you're running toward?
Frequently, no.
Oh, well, there's an interesting thing with dreams because you could, as you wake up, you can have a conversation with yourself of, if I'm going to keep running, what am I really running toward? What do I imagine I am running toward? Because the dreams actually help foster one's imagination. So you might take a few moments and image, what am I really going towards? What do I want? What do I need? And I want to get there fast. I'm running.
Last week we had a guest talking about the Asclepian temple, Laura Payne, and she talked about dogs as being particularly powerful images, and that they had to do with like a kind of a psychopomp leading us toward the divine. So maybe there's something about running toward our own divine nature.
Could be. I'm going to add another piece of this, which does relate. Dogs are also associated with taking us towards death. They're transit animals. Yep, and they take us into Hades. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they help transit. But you see, what I'm talking about is the transit nature. So to death, but death could be like what wants to change.
Yeah, transformation, right?
Yeah, transformation. You can't have, if your suitcase is totally full, then you're not going to change, right? So some things have to go out of the suitcase and other ones come in. So it'd be quite interesting what you're running towards. And also there's a certain freedom in running, isn't there?
Oh,
Like
God, yeah.
standing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You feel great when you run. And don't you?
Oh, yeah, especially on four legs. It seems like it's
On
wonderful
four
that way.
legs, you might run faster. But maybe there is something that really is, wants you to run after it. Go for it. You might seriously talk with yourself, create some kind of an imagination of, well, what would that be? Where do I want to go? It's like, what's the next transit in life? And one other piece, when the symbols repeat, it's quite interesting in dreams because they repeat for reasons. So it's not just random. It's saying, okay, you didn't get there on the last run, so giving you another chance, run again.
There's always infinite chances. I mean, that's the thing. The dreams, they don't give up on us. Dreams never give up on us.
Yeah. So, it's like trusting that the dreams will help guide and they will keep on giving infinite chances.
Wow. Well, thank you, Max, and thank you, Steve. I appreciate that. Those ideas there, those questions. And Susan Schwartz, we have a few minutes left in the show, and I wonder if there's any other topics we haven't touched on that you want to bring up. We do have a few minutes at this point.
Okay, so I'm going to bring in, because you had asked me before, I'm going to bring in a dream that somebody had.
Fabulous, thank you.
That I think shows narcissism.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So I'm going to be, it's a little one. It is that it was a woman, and she was married to Putin. She was married to Putin. So this is about narcissism. And she didn't realize it in the dream. Yeah. And then she wakes up and she goes, oh my gosh, I'm married to Putin? What am I doing? And then she thought, so here are the layers of the dream.
Yeah.
And then she thought, oh my gosh, that Putin character is exactly like my father.
Oh.
So the reason I say that is that Putin could really represent a very isolationistic, dictatorial, forbidding, solitary, and singular individual. You never get close to him. Never. And that was the same deal with her father. And she did not realize she had repeated that father figure, which she didn't end up liking too much. It was inside of her. It's her dream. So the dream was saying to her, so it's not just Putin, it's not just your actual father, it is how have you been treating yourself? Because you can never get close to, if Putin is a partner, you never get close to him. Now, what are you doing to yourself and to that part of yourself if you are living under the aegis of a father complex?
Wow.
So it really shocked her, and it brought to the forefront for her, oh my goodness, I am living too alone inside myself, too trapped inside, and how am I going to get out? And that propelled a whole internal work, which she actually got released from that kind of figure. That didn't have such a grip on her. But, also, we look at the dreams, we have different figures. I don't know that we ever get completely free of who we are. We become very aware, so we could use the energy.
Wow, that's a great example of the narcissism and how it helped to shift her. So thank you so much. This is Susan Schwartz, and you can get to her webpage, susanschwartzphd.com. Her new book is called An Analytical Exploration of Love and Narcissism. And she's coming out with another book this spring. So you never know. We might have to have you back on again, Susan.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for talking.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
All right. Thank you all for listening. The Dream Journal is produced at the studios of KSQD in Santa Cruz. We are live every Saturday at 10 a.m. Pacific at ksqd.org. The podcast is released on the Monday after the show. It spreads interest in dreaming when you subscribe, rate, and review. I'm Catherine Bell. Find out about my dream coaching practice at experientialdreamwork.com. You can email me at catherine@ksqd.org. That's KATHERINE@ksqd.org. Follow Experiential Dreamwork and hashtag The Dream Journal on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn to keep up with the shows. I'd like to thank Steve Pop, who is the engineer, Rick Kleffels, music creator, audio editing by Suki Wessling, phones by Nyanko, I believe is one out there on the phones today. Intro and outro pieces are both by Mood Science. And tomorrow morning when you wake up, take a minute to write down your dream and bring it to the next Dream Journal.
You might be the target. Know you're an upscale market. You know they've been tracking you from day one. Beware of the face that's familiar. It might be the face of your killer. Most people are shot by someone they know. There's a dot on you. There's a dot on you. You know that it's true. Care if you're through. There's a dot on you. There's a dot on you. There's a dot on you. You know that it's true. There's a dot on you. Places where weapons are hidden, the feeling that nothing's forbidden. Step outside of yourself, turn around. You can feel the weight of the crosshairs. You can get used to the dead stare. Dying inside, you can leave it behind. There's a dot on you. There's a dot on you. You won't look ahead. There's a dot on you. There's a dot on you. There's a dot on you. You know what it's to know when you're dead. Dot on you. In any place, deals can be started. Know that you can be outsmarted. Can't afford to reveal your real face. The look and the feel are authentic. Try your best not to get frantic. You can get away with what you don't feel. There's a dot on you. There's a dot on you. You think you can't. No, you can't. There's a dot on you. There's a dot on you. There's a dot on you. You think you can choose. There's a dot